am I just starting with what's up YouTube, I'm guessing? 3, 2, 1. What's up YouTube? So question I get a lot is throwing shoes. Do I need them? Do they help? Differences between them. So I'm here today to do a full breakdown of throwing shoes. I just have to preface it that I am a Nike athlete, and so I throw in Nike shoes, but I've been throwing for 18 years, and for the vast majority of those I was not sponsored. And so I've almost always thrown in Nike shoes, and they are still my favorites, and I don't even want to speak on other brands of throwing shoes simply because I throw in Nikes. I've had great luck with Nikes, and I'm not up to date on the other throwing shoes. So, throwing shoes, and do you need them? And the recommendation that I give is definitely yes if you're interested in throwing far, and throwing is something that you're passionate about. You can get away with throwing in, shoot, really anything. I've even thrown barefoot before. You can throw in whatever shoes you have available, but throwing shoes make it easier. That's really the key. So a good throwing shoe has kind of a stable heel. It has a little bit of a tendency to put you on your toe because that's really where you rotate at. And the biggest thing that makes a throwing shoe is the bottom. So the bottoms are smooth and make it easier to turn. So the very best throwing shoes you can turn really easily in, but when you go to push, so I can turn easy, but when I push, it grabs and I have traction to really apply force on the ball. If you're passionate about throwing and want to try to throw farther, they definitely help, and they will help you throw farther once you get used to them and implement them into your technique. But if you just want to go out there and throw and you're just beginning, you don't necessarily have to have throwing shoes to start, not at all. So get yourself a pair of throwing shoes if you want to add extra distance, but it is not a reason to not go throw. So Nike makes two different throwing shoes, the Nike SDs and the Rotationals, and these are the Rotational 6s, and these are the most up-to-date SDs. I believe they're the SD4s, but they've just renamed them to the SDs. There's two big differences. The Rotationals are faster, and you can see it's got a little bit of shine to it. It's a harder plastic. See if you can hear that. It's a much harder plastic made for rotational techniques, specifically rotational shot and discus. And so it puts you up on your toe a little bit more, easier to turn, and a harder plastic base is just a lot less friction than the SD. So the SD is more of a rubber based, a lot less plasticky. It's more rubber, so you have a little bit more grab. And personally, I throw in the SD4s as a rotational shot putter. I like the SD4s. I kind of feel the ground. I feel that rubber really turning and grabbing. So you can still turn well, but they turn to grab. So when you first get the shoes, they come with a clean finish, just pretty glossy finish on the Rotationals, and on the SDs, these are almost brand new. This is one session in, so they're pretty much brand new. You can see it's a little bit textured. You got the ring here, and then kind of these flared lines outward, but don't base your shoe just based on the bottom, because I can tell you after a week or two of practice, you'll kind of wear the micro textures off, but that's not the end of your shoes. You can throw in the shoes for a long time. Expect to get anywhere from 3 months to 6 months if you're throwing every day. And for me, I mean, I'm 320 pounds and throwing hard consistently, and I get at least 3 months out of my shoes. These shoes last for quite a while. The SDs will last longer than the Rotationals, simply because that softer rubber is a little bit counterintuitive. The softer rubber is a little bit more resistant to tearing, so you get a much smoother wear, where the SDs, or the Rotationals, sorry, you'll turn in them for a long time, and they wear slower until they start to tear. You get more life out of the SDs, but the Rotational 6s are significantly faster. Now that we've kind of gone over the basics of do you need throwing shoes, the difference between the two main ones, here are some shoes that are in my shoe collection that are near and dear to my heart. So these you guys might recognize, the 2016 Olympic shoes. This is that bright neon yellow pink color scheme. So this was my first major international competition. These are actually the shoes that I won the Olympic gold in. So cool to still have these. I don't throw in them anymore. They're just hanging out in the closet, but I figured I'd pull these out to show you guys. Next, I really like these. These are the 2017 world #1s. And so I had some really good throws in 2017. It was my first full year as a pro and learned a lot. But this is, I think, my all-time favorite color scheme. Because I think it looks cool with the navy, the darker blue, the gold, the red. I love the way these look, and for me they were the world #1 shoes. So if you are world #1 in your event, you get your own color scheme shoes. So it's the same shoe. This is just a classic SD, but I was the only one in the world that had these color schemes. This one's special to me. You can see how many throws I took on it. I wore through the toe and into the actual foot plate right here. These ones have a lot of throws. I wore through the sole right there, tore on the edge. So these things, I got everything I could out of these. These were my all-time favorite color scheme shoes. I still love the way these look. Next are my Doha 2019s. Good looking shoe. These ones are special to me because these are the shoes that I threw in the greatest shot put competition in history. So for those who don't know, 2019 World Championships was the farthest to get any place in terms of second, third, and fourth, all the way down. Myself, Joe Kovacs, and Tom Walsh all threw massive lifetime PBs, with me and Tom tying at 22.90, and I won on the tiebreaker, and Joe winning at 22.91. So best shot put competition in history. These were the shoes that I was wearing. A little bit bittersweet to get second, but an honor to be a part of such a competition. So these are a cool one to hang on to. And the shoes that I can't show you, my world record shoes. So I do not have the shoes that I threw the world record in. At the Olympic trials, I threw, actually back it up, because I threw the indoor world record here in Fayetteville this past year, and they took my shoes then because they inspect them and they fill out the paperwork that they're a legal shoe, they don't have too much heel lift. And then again, outdoors at the Olympic trials, they took my shoes there as well. So I'm waiting to get those back. I really hope they do come back. But in the meantime, I do not have my world record shoes. So I've got the next best thing, the second best meet of my life in terms of distance, Tokyo 2020. These are the Olympic shoes. So I really do like these a lot. These have a special design just for the Tokyo Olympics. So you can see the single line Nike swoosh. That's a really original to these shoes, kind of contrasting with a crossbarring orange fading to pink, and then the neon and black kind of offset Nike swoosh. So kind of an unusual look. I like these shoes as one of my favorite color schemes. But besides the blue and gold, I think this one is probably my second favorite. So I've got one special surprise for you guys. I was moving and I found these in a box. These are the ultimate throwbacks. So these are one of Nike's earliest throwing shoes. These were made for the 1984 Olympics in LA. You can see, so they have the cross strap that goes over like this, the blue Nike on the outside, red Nike swoosh on the inside. You can see the bottoms, they're a lot thinner than they are now, and it looks like they were even hand cut or close to it going around. Super cool to find these. So these were my dad's. He threw in the 1984 Olympic trials with these, and we found them in the attic together when I was maybe 10 when I first started throwing, and they're size 12s, and I found these and I loved them. But I think I was a size 8 at the time, so I looked like I was wearing clown shoes out there trying to learn how to spin in shoes that were 4 sizes too big. So go out there, have fun with it. Throwing shoes help, but they're not a reason not to throw. Hopefully you guys learned something, and I really appreciate all the comments on my last video. That was awesome. You guys have been so supportive. So hopefully you guys like the content. We're gonna keep trying to push out new stuff, new throwing, lifting, all kinds of stuff is in the works. So thanks again for tuning in. Like, subscribe, do the YouTube thing. If you can throw a link to this, share it on your other socials so we can get more of a following. I'll be able to produce more content. So thanks again, guys, and have a great one.